So to attach the lapels together, you have to have your jacket and your lining slash facing part, and you are going to align them with right sides together. So the right side of the lining to the right side of the jacket, and I will align both pieces, pin them, and I will sew up to this point and backstitch. So I'll show you one side and you will do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to align my facing and jacket front panel together, right sides together. All right, just make sure that right sides are together, and then I am going to pin accordingly. Right, you should have a notch where the breaking point is, so align these notches and pin, and then you can, apparently my jacket somehow stretched a little bit. The facing will be secured, or like it will be prevented from stretching by the interfacing. The jacket fabric is not interfaced, so that will cause the fabric can stretch a little bit. Okay, that's fine. You can ease the excess. I'll try to do it, and I'll stitch from the jacket side so that my feed dogs help me ease the two pieces together. Right, and again pin the breaking point of the jacket to the breaking point of your facing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch, right, the seam allowance should be 1/4 inch, so that you don't have to do any clipping or anything like that. I line your edges with the 1/4 inch seam guide, and then you will just keep stitching. I'm approaching my breaking point notch. Okay, and then I'm just aligning my edges and stitching as I go. When I come to the intersection where the pieces are like the seams of the front piece to the side piece is, I will stop at my stitching line and I will backstitch. When you get to the curve, slow down and manipulate the fabric with your left hand. Okay, and once you get to the stitching, just last stitch and then back stitch again. Okay, so this is how it should look like when it's done. I'll show you. So it should be stitched this way, right? Right side to right side. What I'm going to do next is I need to understitch, and the understitching for the jacket is a little bit different. From the breaking point down, you will be stitching the seam allowance towards the jacket shell, and from the breaking point up, the under stitching will be stitching the seam allowance towards the interfaced side. Why? Because below the breaking point you want the fabric of the interface. Okay. From the breaking point up, you want the fabric of the facing to be over the fabric of the jacket itself. Below the breaking point, it's the opposite. So from the breaking point up, you will stitch the seam allowance towards the let me look at it from the front. You're gonna stitch it towards where the towards the uninterfaced side, and below the breaking point you're going to stitch it to the uninterfaced side. Okay, so I'll go back on the inside, and above the breaking point I want the facing is the part to show, so I will stitch or understitch. I will snip the fabric at the breaking point so that I can change the direction of the seam allowance at the breaking point. Okay, all right, and from I'll go from the right side of the garment. Okay, and I'll take the seam allowance towards the uninterfaced side. I will start about an inch below the edge, and that's so that I can manipulate the fabric when I attach the neckline. So again, from the breaking point up, you're stitching the seam allowance towards the uninterfaced side so that the interfaced side overlaps the uninterfaced side. I need to mark where I will switch the direction. So I'm looking for my breaking point, and I'll put a pin where the breaking point is. So that's where I'm going to stop and basically change the direction of my seam allowance and then continue. So once I reach my pin, okay, I'll keep my needle down, and then I will reach in to flip the direction of my seam allowance, right? And I will also flip the direction of my sewing so that the seam allowance is under the facing, under the interfaced side. So you're gonna do this to both sides of the jacket. So you'll attach first and then interface, and then understitch. Once you can't get any further, you can backstitch, and that should hold everything in place. Snip my thread, clean up as I go. All right, and this is the finished product. Alright, so you will see at this point I switched the direction of my stitching so that my lapel is covered or like the faced side is on top above the breaking point, and also when I fasten my jacket, the side, the lower part is going to be nice and clean. So over here, this is the back of your collar. All right. So this is how you will stitch your facing and the jacket shell to each other at the center front, or at the extension button extension line. I can show you also, I need to do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll show you how to attach the collar and sandwich it between the jacket and the shell.